Hello and welcome back to the Cronecast with the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel I do the Spirit Guide Monthly live every last Friday of the month. I hope you're able to join me. I just put up September's. I do pick a card readings. I do active magic, candle magic, tarot, although I haven't gotten to one of those in a while because it's been too hot for flame. And today I have for you a pick a card reading, a message from your future self. After all, time is essentially a meaningless construct. We think of it as being linear, but it is not. Our thinking about it is linear, which is not the same thing. Our consciousness can see all points in time from our highest self's perspective. And so this is a message for whatever you're going through right now, your future self would like you to know that might be helpful going forward. This is a message from your future self to you. Whatever you're going through, you are trying to support you through this. We all hear that help happened for your highest good. And what the highest good really is your highest self. It is part of you that is attached to the divine, that is attached to the collective, that is one with all. And it comes here to learn certain lessons and to do certain things. And so your future self already exists. There is a point in time in which all of your problems have already been solved and you've gotten to where you're hoping to go, or things have taken a different turn, but your future self would like to encourage you. So there's going to be an insert in a moment so that you can pick your pile, concentrate, see which one really calls out to you, and that is the message from your future self. Hello and welcome back. If you chose pile number 1, then this is your reading. Hey, before I get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help my channel. I genuinely appreciate it. Let's see what your future self has to say to you. I use a lot of oracle cards. I may end up drawing even more. Let's check the situation and what your future self would like you to know about it. The Everyday Witch will be bringing you your future prediction spread. I normally just use that as a relationship deck, but it's the one that called out to me when I was trying to figure out which one I should use for pile 1. So let's get going here. The Starseed Oracle tells you magnificence. You are magnificent, amazing, and unique, but most importantly, you are enough. This is your future self trying to tell you, please stop doubting your worth. Please stop accepting less than you deserve. Let's find out what else is there. We have Llama, let courage lead you to seek support and overcome fear of intimacy. Interesting. A lot of people who have been traumatized have a difficult time allowing new people in. They have a hard time believing that the future will be different from the past. But this card is saying that if you are able to embrace your true worth, if you are able to see the ways in which you are exactly who you are meant to be, we are meant to have flaws. We are meant to have things we're supposed to be overcoming. And the relationships that have come into your life as an adult past a formative experience were there to help you resolve potential damage and trauma from your first experiences. This entire experience, this living experience, is essentially a university where we try to improve certain aspects of ourselves. And we are on a path. Things are going to get better. You have more coming to you, and you do not need to fear relationships. That's what that message is. Now, I have the Wisdom Oracle bringing me 3 cards. Your group got 3. A couple of them only got 2, but 3 came out for you. Breathe in the here and now, and a leg up. Okay, so one of the things that your future self is trying to tell you is please allow other people to love and support you. You have a tendency, when things go wrong, you have a tendency to self-isolate. You think that you're not important enough for other people to care about your problems. Breathing is a good meditative energy as well. This is the Overthinker's card. Try to remember, this is what I always tell people, anxiety is a thief and depression is a liar. Anxiety will steal away your life's energy and your enjoyment in the here and now. And then depression lies to you and tells you that there is nothing good, that nothing will ever change, and that the past experiences are going to have an impact on and determine the future ones, and they don't. In the here and now, the choices that we make are the things that pave our path forward, and your future self wants you to know that in the future you will have more help, more support, but it starts with you accepting the fact that the reason you're a little bit leery of it, the reason you keep to yourself more than you should at times, is because you were hurt. You were hurt in the past by people that you trusted and loved. And it is partially because as we have those relationships that are damaging to us, it is an opportunity to heal some of the issues that we have. And a lot of the times we don't heal. Instead, we just incur more damage. Turn your attention towards healing. Don't think about how much pain you're in. Think about how you're going to heal that pain. And it's a very slight difference in perspective and the angle at which you view things, but your future self wants you to know that's the answer. Here and now, breathe here and now, and a leg up. And by the way, if you're like, I do not have friends and I don't want to have friends and I'm just very, very introverted, I'm a hermit, there's nothing wrong with that, but allow yourself forms of support. Seek out a therapist if you need to. Don't be afraid to either. If you need somebody to talk to, remember there are all kinds of support lines that you can get in touch with people. Allow yourself to receive support. Things are getting better and you're not alone. This is another card of letting you know that you have guides that are available to you, trying to assist you. Even if everything seems kind of cold and frozen right now, in the here and now, try to remember, speak supportively and kindly to yourself. Please watch what you're saying to yourself in your head. Try not to insult yourself or call yourself names. Even if you were called names as a child or in various relationships, that's not the truth of you. Remember, what other people do is about them. Even though we receive it, it's not necessarily about us. They're coming from their own pain, their own damage. Your future self wants you to know that you're wonderful, you are lovable, breathe deeply, trust it, know that you are not alone, and that things are getting better. And if you don't see it right now, you will. Start to believe it, and it will start to manifest around you more. Because things actually are, it's just you have a hard time trusting it. All right, I have growth. Oh, the tallest oak once started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. Hey, if there's something you need to leave behind in order to have better relationships, better outcomes, let it be the view of yourself as being anything less than incredibly powerful in this world. You have the power to determine how you will view anything. You can view it positively or negatively, and that's not the same thing as living in denial. It is important to accurately identify the things, the wounds, the occurrences in our lives that are shaping to us. But then we have the choice of how we will look at things going forward. And that's growth. If you choose to say, well, sure, that thing taught me something. I know better. I'm better protected. The more that happens to me, the more I learn. And I will not repeat mistakes because I'm busy repairing them. And your future self, just, things are better. Things are better. We have wisdom in play. Our intuition knows more than we do. Remember, you have access to your future self. That is your higher self. Your higher self does not really think about time in the same way that you do in the here and now. Your consciousness, your ego-driven consciousness, which is not an insult. We are meant to have an ego. We are meant to have an identity. We are meant to have feelings. We are meant to struggle, unfortunately, but we're also meant to celebrate. Anxiety and a couple of other negative emotions, lower vibrational emotions, they snack away our life's energy and they conflict with our intuition. And I try to tell people that anxiety and intuition are extremely easy to tell apart. It's that anxiety will never frighten you. I beg your pardon, it's the other way around. Intuition will never frighten you. Your anxiety will. Your intuition will bring you certain information. It will guide you. You will feel it's that resonant energy, even when it's not something good, even when you're like, I need to leave that person. It is, you know it. You just know it, and you don't question it when it's real intuition. A lot of the times, people who have anxiety issues, their fears will start kicking in. They'll ruminate. They'll overthink something. Breathe, relax, remember you're safe in the here and now. Even if you don't have everything you want, there's something to love and enjoy. And your future self is trying to tell you that you're growing, and that's why things hurt so much. It is hard. Healing is hard. So we have two cards here. This is the celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out and dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. Boy, your future self is saying you're self-isolating a little bit too much. And there are reasons coming up in your not terribly distant future. Like, this is a timeless reading, but these messages should manifest within 1 year. That's just the way I read. I'm not reading 5 years out. I'm not reading 10 years out. I'm not even reading 2 years out. I planned this reading for a 1 year period. Now, is your future self the person a year from now? Unfortunately, that's not quite how that can work. It can be your future self at the very end of your life, or it's the future self that is always with the cosmos, always with the divine, always with the energetic universe. Your future self knows how things are going to turn out and is trying to encourage you to remember that things are okay, but right now is not the right time. Divine timing is at work with your growth and in your healing. And boy, I know no one likes hearing that. And guess what? I don't really like saying it either, because divine timing is at least a somewhat maddening concept. It feels like being told, you know, you'll just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And you might for some things. But if you're conscious of waiting, then you're not trusting. Just trust that that which is meant for you is coming to you when it is meant to arrive. And whatever it is that is kind of laying you a little bit low, it's simply not the right time for it. But it will be within 1 year, because again, that's what I planned this time for. Here we go. Let's get a predictive spread for group number 1. What's going on there? Can you give me more detail on this? They're on a growing and healing journey, but they're kind of discouraged, and their self-talk's a little bit not great. All right, we have the Page of Swords in the upright. And let's go ahead. And the Four of Pentacles in the upright. I'm going to take 6 for the energy of balance. Okay. Not talking to enough people, you're being too guarded. I have the Five of Swords in reverse, which is peace and serenity and tranquility and giving up a fight that is not serving you. It is also things coming to rest after a period of change and of disruption. We're going to take 3 more. I have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. Your self-talk needs work. Your self-talk needs work. Almost everybody's does. Remember, your self-talk was programmed into you by your formative experiences. I have the Knight of Wands in the upright and then the High Priestess in reverse. Things are going to change. They are changing even as we speak, but they're changing at a rate that you're not getting a lot of impatience cards. You're getting cards that suggest that you're being a doubting voice in your own narrative. That you can't, you're holding on to things too tightly, potentially in an effort to try and protect yourself from future harm and future relationships. You're still kind of going over old wounds, not so that you can heal them, but because you're constantly thinking about them because you haven't healed them yet. And that's what that divine timing is about. The reason that things aren't coming to you in the time period that you want them to is you're still trying to heal something. And it's holding on pretty tightly, and your self-talk is part of it. Encourage yourself. Remember, be your best cheerleader. Act like you're your best friend. Get up in the morning, look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, gorgeous, you can get this done. And you will believe it, and it will be true. The way you perceive yourself is how others will perceive you. Perceive yourself as magnificent. Perceive yourself as growing and changing. And if you don't have what you want right now, trust that, well, it's because it's not quite the right time, but it's going to be. And the sooner that I let myself fully believe that, the sooner that the time will come that things are moving on. And things are happening. This is inspiration. Quite frequently, this is a romantic partner. Things will become clear. The reason that you're cut off from developments in, it looks like your personal life to me, in your personal life is not that you're being punished, not that you're being excluded from the land that everybody else has a passage into. It is because you are healing still, and it's to become a stronger version of yourself. And your future self is trying to tell you to dig deep and remember, think positively, envision your world as you want it to be. Everything's becoming clear, and your intuition will improve when you try to choose optimism whenever you can. It will end that kind of punishing, angry voice within. Why doesn't anything ever work out for me is one of the things that, like, it has a tendency to be a repeating thought. Things work out for you. It's just you want the wrong things sometimes. This is not a criticism, by the way. We all do this. I have done this. We want the wrong things sometimes because we're coming from a place of injury and we're looking to an exterior source to heal us. And our actual ability to heal is within. It is within us. If you are not getting what you want, instead of saying, why aren't I getting what I want? It's so unfair. This divine timing thing absolutely freaking sucks. Instead of saying that, say, why aren't I getting the things that I want right now? What am I being asked to do instead? And it is not because you will have an endless chore list handed to you by sky beings. Your future self wants you to know that absolutely everything is about allowing you to accomplish what you wanted to with this physical life. And that's important. It is something that will improve not just your life, but the lives of the people that you care about. And part of what's going on is you care very deeply about people. You wonder about that sometimes because you've got the numbness of a trauma survivor around some things, like your loneliness, the fact that you exclude other people, and you don't, like, if somebody is trying to reach out to you and they ask you, oh, how are you? You will answer with one sentence and you will move on to another subject to cut them off from asking anymore. You don't want to talk about yourself. You don't think you're important enough. Your future self is trying to tell you, but that, like, let yourself be important. Let yourself be important to you. Let yourself be important to your friends. You actually are a person with so much to give. It's not the right time now, but growth and celebration and magnificence, those are the things that lie in your future. Let's go ahead and we're going to get a fairy oracle card. It's magical messages from fairies. I don't love the title because they're not really talking about fairies. They're talking about spirits of air. But this is the way that, like, culturally we perceive fairies, and so they are often referred to as fairies. Fairies are amazing. So are spirits of air, but they're not quite the same thing. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. What have we got for group number one? What's their fairy oracle? You know, the deck is being all choppy and weird because I keep insulting the title. Spiritual teacher. Your life purpose involves teaching others about healing and spirituality. If you are a healer, it is so important that you heal. If you have been denied the things that, here's what can happen to people who are healers as well, and they're not getting what they want. It can feel like it's never the time for you, that you're here to be kind of a beast of burden for other people. That is so far from the truth. But you need to be established on your path. You need to be secure in your own energy. You need to appreciate that you actually were made very, very purposefully, and you don't think that. You think that the good things about you, which you can kind of believe in sometimes, are like it's a happy accident of the trauma that you incurred, or the fact that you liked a certain type of book when you were a kid, or that you prefer to live inside of your head. You think that all of the good things that you're told about yourself or you perceive about yourself, that they are all a result, like that you're being whittled into a particular shape by these traumatic experiences so that something can make use of you. And you don't think you're going to be allowed to receive. That is not the truth of the matter. Your self-talk is just a little bit too punishing. Try to remember to encourage yourself and to tell you, everything is coming to me. It wasn't quite the right time, but it's going to be very soon. Everything is altering. I can alter everything within my life as I wish to. I have power in this existence, and your future self is trying to tell you that. Get ready to celebrate. After you achieve this growth, your entire energy is going to, you'll look back at this time and laugh at it, and I know you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me, but you will. You will look back and think, and there was a time I thought everything wasn't going to be okay. And you're going to notice every paving stone on the path that you were meant to be on. Please trust you. Your intuition has been guiding you. If you can't trust the divine anymore, if you're like, hey, my spirit guides never come through, screw them. Which they're never going to care if you say that, and it's never quite true. They work with our choices and they try so hard to guide us. But even if you're in that state, remember, you are here in this point in time, no matter how you feel, because you kept persevering. You are strong beyond measure. Your future self is trying to encourage you, and ask that you start encouraging yourself in the here and now. I have main female, and then wealthy man, and then journey. So riches, And what are riches? Is it really a number in a bank? Not really. It is that abundant feeling that I have everything that could ever make a person happy. And it doesn't, if you identify as male, then you're working on your nurturing side. If you identify as female, you're working on your security. You're on a journey to balance your male and feminine energies regardless of how you identify. You're on a journey to become your integrated self. And when you're your integrated self, what is being an integrated self? It means that the child person who was you. People call this inner child work. I don't like that tag. I always use formative damage because as you were being formed, you were damaged. And it is part of our adult journey to try and identify that and to correct it so that we do not repeat patterns, we don't carry generational curses forward, and we're able to be free of limiting energies. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this up with the Making Magic cards. And then I'm going to pull Romance Angel just for fun because you got that not the right time energy, which you could be asking about a relationship or you could on target. Follow your ideal life path. The delay is because you don't think of yourself as being important. You don't think of yourself as being important. Even if there are 6 people in this world who are like, you saved my flippin' life. You are the person who shone light into my darkness and led me out of it. Even if it's only 6 people in this entire universe, you're very, very, very important. You're very, very important. To those 6 people, you are everything. But it's a lot more than 6 people. And it's going to be more and more and more. And you have a hard time accepting that. You're wondering, if I'm such a great healer, why does my life suck? It doesn't suck. You're just still in pain. And it's going to be over so soon. And if you start talking to yourself like your future self is trying to talk to you, it changes today. It changes today. If you change what you're saying to yourself about your life changes today. Because everything is about perception and the angle at which we view it. If you lost so many things, then say, well, you know what? That means that there's room for everything else. If you are spending almost all your time alone, then it's because, well, I guess I need to really get to know and love me. If you cannot find the relationship that you want, it is because that person is not ready for you and you deserve your best pairing. So let's get a romance angel on that note. What's coming up? What does the future self want pile number 1 to know about their journey going forward? See, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Love is not just romantic love. It is love of self. It is love of life. And how can you love a life that is kind of making you feel like you're poverty-stricken in all emotional concepts? You love it because you're in it, you feel it, things can change it if you believe it. You can love your life simply because you have found something that is important to do. Even if I'm going to keep using the number 6 because of the balance issue, even if it's only 6 people, boy, what an important thing to contribute to the world. Saving people, helping people, enlightening people. You are more important than you believe yourself to be. And remember, you're getting messages about how tightly you're holding on to pain from the past. If you can release it, if you can just cut it out, you will move forward. Your future self is telling you, letting go of the past is the most important thing that you can try and do now. If you're just so frustrated with what feels like a lack of progress, try to remember, it's not quite the right time for the things that you want. It's because you're still growing. You're trying to be given support, and in the here and now, you're being asked to remember to breathe and to stop shutting people out. You are as worthy of the support as you give other people. And if your response is, well, you know what, I kind of don't like talking about myself, that's legitimate. You don't have to start sharing, but at least allow people to be a part of your life. If it's just, having lunch dates with people, going out to movies if you can, talking on the phone, you're excluding people, and it's causing you to think that life is more limited than it really is. What you don't understand is that you're viewed very lovingly by a lot of people. And what's a lot? I'm not sure. Like, for some people, it could be hundreds of thousands of people. For some people, it could be 5. For some people, it could be 2. For some people, it could be anything in between those numbers. But it's enough that it's substantial. And if they're not misguided, they're not fooling themselves about who you are. All right, so group number 1, that was your message from your future self. You're a little bit bereft right now, not because it will remain that way, but because you're still trying to grow and change, and you are very important. And please talk to yourself like that, because you deserve love. And if you want love, start by loving yourself, because you really are lovable. Take care, be well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there's a link to my website in the description box down below, and I'd love a chance to read for you in real life. Hello and welcome back. If you chose pile number 2, then this is your reading. The Silver Witch is going to be bringing you a predictive spread of 6 cards, which is about internal balance. And we're also going to have a whole bunch of oracle cards. We're going to get started with the Starseed Oracle. But before I begin the reading, hey, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help the channel. And let's see what your future self is trying to tell you. And is your future self a little bit different than your higher self? A little bit. Your higher self is connected to the all, to the divine. It is part of everything. And your future self is a little bit more related to the thing that holds us back sometimes, the ego, which is our desires, our wants, our belief in self. And the ego is not bad. There's this whole stage in a spiritual awakening where it's like death of the ego. No, you are who you are for a reason. And you matter. You're not supposed to transcend who you are. You're supposed to improve who you are. Let's get going here. We have truth. See your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. Oh, let's find out what this is about. This is Butterfly. Delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. Well, this is an interesting truth so far. If you've had a lot of disruption, if you've been through a season of change, Saturn has been in Aquarius for a lot of people. And Saturn in Aquarius basically shakes your personal tree until everything that doesn't belong there falls out. And it is because if things are changing and you can't seem to find solid ground to stand on, the truth is it's part of your path. You are meant to be in a transforming energy. And let's keep going with this to find out why there's this feeling of dissatisfaction around that. Okay, for your Ferrical Oracle, your future self wants you to know manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now write it down on a paper. Manifestation step 1. Write it down on a paper, repeat it as mantras. Try to be very, very positive and make sure that it is not rigidly defined by I just want this one person. If you just want that one person, that's fine. Say I want this just one person, this or something better. I'm receptive to the idea that I could care and love and be with somebody else. If that person was the right person and I'm receptive to that. If that's my fate, then please bring that to me. Manifestation is about what we speak into existence, what we think into existence. The truth of the matter is that more and more comes to you, and it doesn't happen with a big flash and a bang. It happens one little jigsaw piece at a time. So you can start out with like one piece of a puzzle and everything slowly comes in around that. And why is it slow? Because sometimes we're in a growing process. Sometimes it is because it takes a while to bend reality. We have Treasure Island. Oh, wow, good. And Chop Wood from the Wisdom Oracle. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Apparently, you're being asked to focus on your life path, your purpose, your career. Chopping wood is getting things done. Apparently, it is a time for you to concentrate on building your own security, building the security that you make, manifesting the world that you want. And the truth of the changes that are surrounding you is that your life was not built on, you didn't have enough confidence in yourself because you didn't build that life. You're building your own life. No one can ever take away the life that you build for you. Okay? All right. Meditation brings answers. Try to tap in. Try to connect. Try to connect. Not only will you have access to your higher self, to your future self, you will also have access to your guides, to your ascended masters. Try to be like more consistent with it. You'll get this message and you'll try like 1-2 nights. And then you're like, yeah, it surely was enough. I didn't get any blinding answers. The truth is, it is a practice. It is, treat it like you would exercise. You can be very good about being responsible. Your future self is trying to remind you that it's not a chore. It's not a chore. I think you're a little distant from your team right now because you're looking around and saying, I didn't get anything I wanted. Why would I try to talk to you? It's pointless. Because first of all, you are getting what you want. It's just taking more time than you want it to. Working on patience is something that you've been doing quite a bit. And the truth is, everything is working out really, really well. All of the work that you're putting in, it's starting to manifest all around you. I have adventure. Live wild and free. You're risk averse. You do not like risks. Your future self is saying, guess what? That's not actually going to change. Try to get comfortable with it. Try to get comfortable with the fact that life's not safe. Nothing you could do, nothing you could amass, nothing that you can't be safe in this world. We are fragile beings. Everything about this world is fragile. Safety is an illusion. And your best ally in creating safety is you. As long as you have you are safe. You're getting wiser, you're getting stronger, you're making more that is just yours. It's not that you won't ever share it with anyone or you won't ever receive anything from anyone. It is that you will always believe that you can make a world that is incredibly worthwhile once you make your own. Once you have forged through a land by yourself, once you have walked a path with no one else leading you or guiding you, or you're not leaning on anybody, that gives you the greatest sense of your power. Don't resent time by yourself. Remember, it is the thing that is teaching you how incredible you really are and how you rise to every single challenge. It is getting you in touch with your power. And live wild and free. Allow change. It brings increase as well as decrease. And you've only experienced the decrease, and it's partially because you will not risk. And your spirit guides are working with that. Your future self is like, yeah, that can't change. It came from too difficult of a place. Like, you really might have been one of those people who did not have enough to eat growing up, or the lights were always going off because the bill wasn't paid. And you can't risk in that way. Risk hope, risk faith, and risk belief then. Live wild and free, trusting that more is coming to you. I have emptied. The ending and the beginning lie at either side of the same door. Good. That's almost exactly what I was just saying. Please, please, please do not forget that just because things went away, just because relationships ended, just because there was loss, that is not a trend that will never stop. It was clearing everything out. It was cleaning your personal house so that you could build your own mansion and fill it with everything that you will take pride in. You don't believe in yourself because somebody undermined you so deeply, almost from the moment that you were born, that you don't think of yourself as a good person. And every other person who encounters you does. Every other person. Like, you got a bad temper sometimes, so there's going to be a couple of people who are like, yeah, no, that person's hothead. But it's not really a bad temper, it's a trauma response. You don't have a bad temper. You're actually a very sweet human being. Your future self is trying to remind you of that. You're actually really just almost an adorable human being in how sweet and kind and considerate and generous you can be. But somebody told you that you were the opposite of all of that. And it might have been a parental figure, and they were taking out their own difficulty, their mental illness, quite frankly, on you. It was never true. The truth is, you're actually a remarkably kind human being. Everybody has flaws. Just because you have flaws doesn't mean that your worth is diminished. You have unquestioned worth. Your future self wants you to know it. Let's get the Silver Witch 6 cards down for the energy of internal balance. Let's go. All right. I have the High Priestess in the upright. Things underneath the surface, things that are concealed, but it's also the goddess energy. With the Knight of Swords in reverse, okay. With the 8 of Wands in reverse, the Temperance card, wow, that's the Patience card. Okay, we're going to talk about this. The Star card in the upright, and then the 3 of Cups in reverse. You are not being isolated because you don't deserve other human beings. You are not going to have to watch the rest of the world have everything that you ever hoped for. What you're being asked to do is be able to be by yourself so that nobody ever takes your power again. You were set up from it almost from birth. You are trying to allow yourself to recognize, but you bump into guilt. I think it had to be apparent. You bump into guilt, like I'm supposed to love this person, only a bad human being wouldn't love their mother, father, aunt, whoever it was your caretaker, who really, really underlined your flaws and like tried to define you by them. You are not defined by your flaws. We all have them. We are all work in progress. We're all trying to fix something at our core level to improve ourselves, to evolve. That's our job here, evolving. If you were perfect from jump, how could you grow? How could you evolve? You are exactly who you are meant to be. And that person was lying to you. And they knew it on a lot of occasions. They were unhappy, they frequently didn't feel well, and they savaged you because you were there, and you were a reactive person because you were very sensitive. And they were angry at their own parent, and you reminded them a little bit of them. And that's part of what happened. They just kept attacking you. And you wouldn't see it coming, and it would take you out. And every now and then, you think when you look around, I don't have what I want because that person was right. That person has a miserable existence on almost every known level. If they're still in the here and now, they don't have you to kick around any longer. You withdraw so much from everybody that they're not able to get to you. But it leaves you alone with the anger about why you have so much less. And your progress has been halted at the moment. At the moment, nothing's happening because you've got to deal with this anger. And you've got to let yourself feel it. And I don't mean running around breaking plates and screaming and yelling, but you have to deal with the ways in which you were poorly treated because you will excuse it. You will excuse it. And dealing with that was wrong does not mean you have to dislike that person or hate that person or cut that person out of your life, although it might be appropriate if they're damaging. You do not owe anybody through the obligation, even of familial love, to be abused by them. Ever. 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 And they don't have the right. They just do not have the right to injure you because they are not okay. You're almost healed, though. This is the last stage in it. Your future self is trying to let you know this solitude, this seclusion, this feeling of all I ever do is try to work. All I ever do is what I'm asked to do. And nothing comes to me. It is as if I'm a slave. I've just been, the divine has me, and I'm its little worker bee, and I'm trying to be good, and I'm trying to accept that I probably asked for a life in which I would be of service to others. Okay, part of that is true. You asked for a life where you could be of service to other people. You have such belief in something amazing and beautiful. You lack belief in yourself because you had a person who was a little bit jealous of your bright spirit, who was, I believe, one of your caretakers, who would just, they picked on you. Like you couldn't chew right in front of them sometimes. Anything you did was that it was prime categories for nitpicking you and criticizing you. And for a long time, you kept telling yourself it's because they came from an age where they thought they could criticize me into being a good person, and it was just a flawed parenting technique. No, it wasn't. It was a form of dysfunction. That person likely has a personality disorder. It does not define you. They were always wrong. Let yourself be angry about how you were lied to and how it thwarted your life, and then let it go and move forward. Live wild and free. Your future self wants you to know everything is coming to you. Everything you think you got cheated out of because it's too late in life, it's not. It's not. Everything, you don't understand what's happening. Rest and rejuvenation, you're being allowed to rejuvenate. With Door to Spirit, I never read these in reverse. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, and then the Thinking Woman. So your feminine divine energy around here, we all exist with a balance of male and female energies. You're being held alone, not because you will never know love, you will never have what you want, but because you are being asked to learn how to nurture yourself. You're being asked to take care of you like a treasured and loved person. And you will do that for other people, but you would never do it for you. In fact, when you would have, like you for a while, and I think you might be, if you're in a relationship, it might be a toxic one. I'm so sorry. And toxic, it's just uneven. It's just uneven. You give more than you will ever receive, and you don't let yourself receive because somebody told you you weren't. This is a person who, out of their own anger, kept telling you things that weren't true. Your progress in life is a little bit, and by the way, I just told the last group, this is timeless reading, but this reading will manifest within 1 year. I program all of my readings by basically asking with my intent, and this is going to manifest within 1 year. Please try to meditate. Please try to tap in. There's so much with your work that is trying to come to you. I apologize, somebody is apparently drag racing outside, but there's so much with your work that is trying to come to you, and you need to be able to tap in. This Temperance card is patience, it is healing. This is your connection to the divine. You are connected to the divine. You are a servant of the divine, but that is not all you are. Don't think of servant as being, I don't get to have anything I want, I don't matter, I'm just an employee. You asked to serve the greater good, but you do get it would embitter and hurt and damage somebody to do what you think you're being asked to do, and the divine would never do that. All right, we have successful career, a happy working environment, pay rises, and promotions. Hey, group number 2. Whatever it is you're asking about, and it looks to be like halted progress on potentially like the development of your personal life. And that doesn't mean romance, it doesn't have to be, but it could be just overall general happiness. You're wondering, like, why isn't anything happening? All I do is try. It's because there are developments in your path, which is your life's purpose. There are things you're being asked to focus on your career, not because you're not allowed to have anything else, and you're not supposed to focus on it to the exclusion of everything else. You are meant to be working appropriately and trying to love and care for yourself and spoil yourself and give yourself compliments and tell yourself all of your positive attributes. You're being asked to be like your own parent. That is what reparenting is. Reprogramming the voices from the past in order to know your truth so that you can manifest more, so you can change everything. Meditation will bring answers. Meditate however you feel comfortable. Here we go, love life. The basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. If you are wondering, why can't I have a love life right now? And by the way, if you have a love life, you might be outgrowing your partner. You might be outgrowing your partner. And you kind of know it. I think that truth thing, that's one of the things your higher self is trying to tell you. You actually deserve somebody who's head over heels in love with you. You fall head over heels in love with people. It is a fallacy that someone always loves more. People love differently, but it's not in measured degrees. you deserve somebody who loves you back at the same level. And if you can't find that person, it is better to be alone and to love you at the level you deserve than to give all of your love to an undeserving person who will not return it. But I don't think you're in a relationship right now. I think you are currently wondering, do I ever get to have a relationship? And you do. It's just, you have something to do with your life's path first, and your spirit guides are trying to hammer down your door, and your higher self and your future self are saying, that's what changes things. Please meditate. Please meditate. Whatever it is that let you down so badly, okay, I'll take it since it keeps falling out. A woman holding a coin, that is something about business as well. You really, it's not about money. It's not about status, although you're going to have both. You're going to have both. Your future self wants you to know that. It's not about that, though. It is about you are a soul who has come here over and over and over again. And you learn different lessons each time, but you always want to help other people. Your career is important. Even if you're not working in a healing field, you may be though, even if you're not working in a healing field, your job, what you're being called towards, is important for the greater good. Third chakra, Archangel Shemuel. It's manifesting energy, yin yang. And, okay, here we go. Financial constraints, fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, and then cornucopia. Like, I don't get the sense that money is actually that much of an issue for you right now. I don't think you're rolling in it, but I think you're actually in a very balanced and successful energy, and you kind of know it. You're not worrying about it. There's more coming to you. There's just so much more coming to you. You have a slightly explosive energy around that. And it's not that you're not going to have time for a relationship. It's that you really need to feel very secure in your worth. Because you question your worth a lot because of that figure from your childhood. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get a couple of cards from the Kipper Oracle. What else does the future self want pile number 2 to know? What's having an impact here? What's the influence? Marriage. Well, I don't think you're married. Could be that you want to be. I don't think you're married. I think you believe you accidentally signed up to be a monk. Wealthy man, great fortune, and then unexpected income. I told you you have an explosive energy around your success. Listen, if your question involves marriage, your future self is just trying to let you know you're going to have, it's possible that the person that you're going to be involved with is very, very, very successful. And you're going to, because you have a sense to think of yourself as inferior a lot because of that bad parent or caretaker, and you don't have to hate them or anything, but please recognize just how wrong it would be to do that to a little kid. You have a hard time with that because you're super, super, super loving. And it is not about, well, then I need to hate that person. What it is about, however, is you had the love life card. You're wondering when you get to have a love life. You have success that you're trying. You're hearing this and you're like, I don't care that much. I don't care. I don't care. I'm successful enough. I have enough to eat. I can get my hair cut when I need to. I can get a massage if I really, really wanted to. I have a decent enough life. I don't care. You do. Actually, your future self is trying to say it's because you have no idea what's coming. And I mean that in a really good way. Strength, more effort will get you what you want. You are strong enough to do what you're being asked to do. Here's what I think has happened. You're just a little resigned to, well, okay, fine, I don't get anything. I will sit back and I will just not do anything then. I will let this coast. I will put in the effort that I'm being asked to do. I'm not talking to them anymore. They don't do anything for me. They don't do anything for me. Why would I bother talking to them? Because they're, first of all, they still talk to you. They find all manner of ways. But please try to meditate, because it will hasten this process that is driving you a little bit batty with the delay on it. And it's been such a delay that you think it's just not showing up. It is showing up super soon. Super soon. Like you hate being told something's going to happen soon, because you've come to believe that in divine timing that means, you know, oh, it could be 5 years from now, and you're sick of it. Because you've had a long time already of having a very difficult emotional experience. It's super soon. The thing that is going to change things, the success that is coming to you, the shifting of that energy, and that's what you need to learn to have balance in, is listen, pile number 2, you're remarkable and you're going to be very successful. And you need to understand that because of some damage done to you in a formative stage, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to know how to handle. And because you want love so much, you just want somebody to love you and tell you that you're lovable. Tell you that. The person who is like messing with you as a kid, like just know that like they have a lot of regret, because they can't get in touch with you any longer. They have a lot of regret. And I don't know if this person's still living or not, but they have a lot of regret around that. It can't be changed by them, but it can be changed by you. Start talking to yourself the way you deserve to be talked to. You are lovable, you are special, you are bright, you are creative, you are kind. You are a miracle for still trying, because you've had a lot of discouraging things happen. Awen, 3 rays of light, balancing male and female energies, peace and harmony. Your male energy, and it does not matter what gender you are, your male energy mostly went towards your anger for a very long time. And your driven, successful energy is very related to your masculine energy. You have success exploding in your life super, 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 super soon. But you have a poverty-stricken mindset. And it's going to, you won't trust it. You won't believe it's going to keep going. And if somebody else was there in your life, you would look to them to take care of it for you, because you don't believe in you. Everything's changing super, super, super soon. Super soon. Super soon. And what does that mean? Like this reading will manifest within a year. It's much sooner than a year. Right? Opportunities. Oh my God, a stranger's about to change your life. Exciting times and plenty of action, plus a special family reunion looks likely. Group number 2, we're going to close this puppy out. Your future self is trying to tell you whatever it is you have decided about the divine, whatever it is you believe is happening here, please try to meditate again. It will make this thing happen. It will help make it happen. The secrets of what is, you have to have that ability to succeed and know that it is your success, and believe in yourself and achieve the things that you want and treat yourself well and kindly. And you want somebody to love so, 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 so much. You just want somebody to love so, 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 so much. And you do love yourself. And now you're at the point of telling yourself, I love myself enough that I want somebody to love. Like, this isn't fair. This isn't good for people. It's almost over. It genuinely is. And it is only happening now because you have an explosive energy around your success. And it would feel different. You would never believe in you at the same level if somebody was standing beside you. And almost as soon as it happens, as soon as you regain your balance after that, like, whoa, that was so much more intense than I thought it was going to be. After that's over, which will be another flash in the pan energy, you have things coming to you in a romantic capacity. All right, group number 2, that was your reading. Maybe I should pull a romance angel here at the very last second. I'm sure that like anybody who's like already tuned out because they heard me start to close will not get this part, but then they're not meant to, I suppose. Let's get a romance angel for group number 2. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's coming to them so soon? Because it's not a year, it's so soon. Here we go. Forgiving and learning, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. You're not getting that answer yet. You're not getting that answer yet. Don't worry about that part. There's a reason. There's always a reason. And you might not be able to get an answer from a relationship read right now. And you're starting to think that that means that it's because you don't get a person. You get a person. You get a person. And the person's almost there. You just have events that need to occur, and your future self is saying, please hang on. You're not bitter. You're not angry at this point. You were for a while with the actual divine. I'm sorry, I'm starting to put out the other cards. You were for a while. You've passed that point, and you have tried to just accept that, well, I get an emotional pauper's existence. You don't. You don't. Please meditate more. Your future self, that's the message that just, please meditate, please meditate, please meditate, please meditate. It's not useless. More happens than you understand. Just try. All right, group number 2, that was your reading. Thank you for joining me. If you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below. Take care and be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 3, then this is your reading. Hey, we're going to have a bunch of oracle decks. This is a message from your future self, which is very related to your higher self, but your higher self does not have a great concept of time sometimes. It's always with the collective. It has so much knowledge available to it. It's a little detached from essentially your personality and your ego. Your future self is at a different point in time, and you can access that consciousness and receive messages from them. So that's what we're doing today. This is the manga deck, the traditional manga deck. I'm going to take 6 cards from that in a little bit, which is the energy of balance. And here we go. We're starting with no limitations. You are a celestial being with unlimited potential. There is much for you to share. Okay. You're being reminded of your origin. You come from somewhere else. If you are in my collective, you are likely a healer and a light worker. And if you're not either of those, then I may still have a message for you, but primarily those are the people that I attract. We are the light, and we are trying to shed it in an ever-darkening world. Kangaroo, as events take on their own momentum, you take a true leap forward. Well, that's good. No limitations, leaping forward, that's good. Your future self is trying to tell you, expect a surge. Expect a surge around something. A year from now is your angel answers card. Now, interestingly enough, I do not think this is accurate. I do not think your surge is a year from now. It's just that a year from now, you will have no limitations on anything. Like, you will feel a lot of confidence in the belief that more is your birthright and that you are here with so much to share. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for you, but the surge is like that kangaroo energy, that's pretty imminent. Grounded, keep to your roots, stand taller than the trees, do root chakra work, make sure you're grounding frequently, get out, walk on grass or the actual earth. Interact with nature as much as you can. It helps drain away negative energies. I have transitions. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Things are changing, but not in the way they've been changing recently. Like in the last few years or the last year or the last 2 years, you've had changes that just, it was more and more and more and more and more of things like not working out, being taken away. The changes that are coming to you, there are no limitations on them. You need to be super grounded to be able to handle them. That's not bad. To be fair, and then the fates. Woo, okay. And then I have hidden depths. Something hidden is about to come to light, perhaps a secret or memory at the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we can become free. Justice is coming to you. Justice is coming to you. That a year from now energy, I'm just not feeling it. I don't think that's when it is. It's that, oh, it's your future self a year from now that's trying to talk to you. Okay. This is all happening within the next year. I understand. I kept looking at that and thinking, no, this is not accurate. This is not, and the reason I know that is the intent I had while I was picking these cards was I want this all to manifest within 1 year. Because it gets really tiring for people being told more is coming to you, and it's like, is there any time frame attached to that? Because it feels like I've been waiting since God was a boy. That's why this reading is meant to manifest within a year. Your future self, the one that's trying to send this message, is at the point in time a year from now. Please get very grounded right now. Justice is coming to you in a matter that you did not think you would see justice on, and it may be simply in your increase, these transitions that are happening, this surge of this kangaroo energy with no limitations. As events take on their own momentum, you take a true leap forward with no limitations. Oh my goodness. Your future self a year from now wants to remind you of the worth of being grounded, of doing your energetic work, of leaning in on what you're meant to be doing. And it is, I wonder what your question's about. Can I get what's going on for group number 3, please? Because I don't even have a sense of like why they're watching the reading right at this moment. Is it that they're starting to doubt success? Is it that they're starting to doubt a path? What is it? What's going on? Show me what's going on with group number 3, please, that their future self is like essentially this time next year. The part of you that is reaching back through time is from a year from now. That's really close in. When I designated future self, it's like I was thinking 5-10 years. Simply because like that's enough time for very, very like big changes to happen and take root. Okay, I have the Hierophant in reverse. This is a non-conforming card. It can be the end of a marriage. It's the Taurus card as well. It is about thinking outside the box and allowing traditions to kind of melt away from you. Remember, they're not based in very good things a lot of the times. Our traditions are usually about like population control and the trying to get people to behave in a very particular way. Some of them are sweet and kind and nice and adorable, but most of them have roots in a society that, particularly for women, has been telling us we're not as powerful as we really are. Now, if you identify as anything other than female, that is awesome. If you're drawn to me, you're trying to discover your personal power. I have the Star in the upright. That's Major Arcana all over the place so far. With, oh goody, the Wheel in the upright. More Major Arcana. I swear there are like, oh, Judgment in the upright. 10 of Wands in the upright. Okay. And then the 8 of Wands in the upright as well. Whew. Okay, so the reason that you're getting a message is that you don't realize that things are still changing. Oh, you don't realize that things are still changing. You think you've arrived. No, this is like the bus station. Like you're getting on something imminently that will take you in a new direction. New, not exactly. Expanding. Expanding. Oh, wow. It is almost like you live in an entirely different world a year from now. That's all very, very good. These are fateful forces at work. You have 4 Major Arcana to 2 Minor. Major Arcana are fateful forces at work in your life. Woo! The fates, to be fair, everything that you think you're being denied, boy, is there going to be a time when you're ever so grateful that it's like, oh, thank goodness I wasn't trying to handle more than you need your plate to be cleared right now. You need a clear field. Things are changing for you. Dreams are coming true. New beginnings all over the place. You've lost a lot. So much is coming to you. The Wheel is essentially like luck turning in your direction, fortune coming to you. Judgment is a life's purpose card. It is about stepping into your purposeful energy. The 10 of Wands with the 8 of Wands, your success is going to, you're not quite prepared. You're not quite prepared. And is it monetary success? I believe so, although that is how we that's not really how success should be defined. But there's something here where your rate of expansion is going to put its own form of stress on you. And the reason that you're kind of not making the progress that you want right now, which is what I think we're dealing with, is you're like, I think you're watching this because you're like, when is this going to happen already? Oh my goodness. I've become so patient that I can watch paint dry and think that it's a fun activity. Please, how much more patience do I have to develop? It's not patience this time. Like, kudos to you. You do all the work and you try and you try and you try. It's okay that you're not perfect. Like, no one is. It is okay that you're powerful, and that means that you have a feistiness sometimes. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You've finished one part of your life, and now a new and even better part is beginning. Well, let's just keep going, shall we? Things are changing again. And man, you don't like the word change. That no limitations energy as well and grounded. Make sure that you believe in you. Things are changing in a way that is very, very good, but it's going to leave you a little bit confused. Like, you're not going to know what to do with it. And that's why developing such a strong relationship to self has been so incredibly important. And you do your best. You actually do a really good job. Like, please tell yourself this over and over again. Like, there have been times when you're like, screw this, I'm giving up. But it doesn't last for more than, like, a half an hour, 2 hours, and then you kind of suck it up and you try again. And that's who you've been your whole life. It doesn't matter what knocks you down. Eventually, you get tired of being on the ground and yelling, this is unfair, and you get up. And a lot of the times, it is unfair. You had to be brought to a very particular point in your life to accomplish something. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel is your connection to the divine, the garden and the gate. You are the only thing holding you back. Financial constraints with the Archangel Gabriel. And then cornucopia. Okay, so everything that you can possibly imagine in terms of success is nearly yours. You're not used to it. You're not used to taking credit for things. And you needed to be held in this period of like, yeah, this isn't happening, that isn't happening, because you're going to be in charge of something. You're going to be in charge of something, and you need to know that you are capable of bouncing like a super ball. And my gosh, you've been asked to. Like, I get knocked down, but I get up again, and I bounce really, really high. That's your energy. And it's been really hard because, oh my goodness, you've been asked to walk a strange path. Like, you're a little bit apart from other people because you don't really feel like you've always felt like an alien. Past life relationship, you have known each other before. You have, if you're with your person already, know that it is a past life relationship and it is a soul contract. If you are not with your person yet, know that this is what's coming to you. Your real person, the person you have been with over and over and over again, because you always find each other. Like, you have found each other every single time you've incarnated. And you're an interesting pairing because a lot of the times the souls that we meet, we've had different roles at different times. And you haven't. Like, this is always your real person. Like, this is your true soulmate. And here's the thing, you're not actually a super jealous person. So you're not concerned about where they've been or what they've been doing up until now. Because in anything before you, you're like, that doesn't count. Like, they get to have a life before me as well. They've got something they're wrapping up, and it's hard. And I can't tell if you know them already. I think you do. I think you do know them already. Let's find out. What else is at play here? What else is at play here? What else is group number 3's future self trying to tell them? I don't think we're going to get any information on that. Journey, house. Oh, what's going to happen? Okay, 2 more times. House is about security. Journey, a little bit, self-explanatory. But you're paving your own security. You're bringing everything to you. It is going to be truly yours. Mature woman, despair, imprison. Oh, you do. You feel so trapped in expectation. That's why you're here. This is why you're here right now. You don't understand that you're simply being asked to walk a path, to have everything that, and by the way, you don't need to be a mature woman. It's just that you might be a little bit like your feminine side is suffering with that when you get that card. You want more love and you don't understand. You feel very trapped and you've been waiting and waiting and wondering, when does it change? When does my happiness get here? When does my real person arrive? And if you're with somebody, then maybe this isn't your pile. Like, sincerely, it's kind of that cut and dried. I do not think that the Hierophant in reverse, I don't think you're with anybody right now. And you think you don't understand why. And your future self is trying to tell you, you've got more to do and it's not bad. Like, you associate the whole I'm worth waiting for with, oh God, they're just going to keep stuffing me through a meat grinder. They're not. Like, everything that's happening is far more positive than you believe it to be. Here we go. 1 and 2. There we go. Health. Focus on all parts to make the whole. Your physical, your emotional, your spiritual world all matter. They all matter. They all matter. Hidden depths and grounded with, to be fair, and the fates. Transitions, I feel bad about saying this because I have a feeling that I have people watching this who just heard there's more change coming up and you practically dove underneath the bed. Because screw that. How much more time, how many times do I have to change before I'm allowed to ever come to rest? Well, there is a good news and bad news type of scenario. Here's the bad news. You don't ever really come to rest. Like, you don't. Like, you're not, that is not who you are. You're a power. You're a force. You truly are a limitless being. And the thing that you're craving, this like kind of like, I just want a routine. I just want a nice life. I just want like a happy sort of like, and then I have this dinner on that night and I cuddle with my person and we watch a movie, and you don't want excitement. Like, you don't want excitement. You want peace. And you don't understand that peace can be had in the middle of incredible amounts of activity. Peace is within. It is not your exterior circumstances. Okay, I have burnout. Your hard work will see results, but your health needs to be maintained. So check in with your doctor, dentist, and health professional and try to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Your hard work will see results, but your health needs to be maintained. Oh my goodness. Whenever you have a person, you will put yourself second to them always. Always. You always put yourself behind the person that you love. You don't know how to do anything different. You are by yourself right now because there is a situation that is incredibly positive, that is developing even as I'm shuffling. And you need to be focusing on you because it's going to knock you a little bit off balance. And it's very, very good, but it will challenge your view of yourself. Little luxuries generates luxurious experience and surroundings. Here's what I think is happening, group number 3. I think you're on the cusp of actual real success in something that you've worked really, really hard at. And you worked hard enough at it and you didn't get enough success to really believe that it's like, I will have a breakout success. I am going to be, like, people are going to know my name across the world. And is that what's happening? I'm not sure. I just know that your success is a year from now going to be so substantial that part of the reason that you don't have a human being right now is you don't realize this. You desperately need to be able to be your own human being because a lot is changing. You're going to feel challenged. You have self-worth issues, and you will question that if you are allowed to. And here's the thing, whenever you have somebody to love, you put all of your caretaker and you try to take care of them. And you will always, like, if you're cooking dinner for somebody and there's like one piece of, like, maybe you're cooking steaks or something, if there's one steak that is marginally better than the other, you give it to your partner. And you think that's the right thing to do. You sacrifice self for love over and over and over again. And you are going to need yourself, both for what you're being asked to accomplish and also to roll with a couple of changes that are trying to enter your life and to come your way. I kind of really love the energy on this group number 3. I think we can go ahead and close this out. It's not quite as long as the other ones, but I think we've gotten the message. That's what's going on. You keep asking, you're like yelling at the divine, like, when's it is it just not going to be my turn? Do I just not get anything? And here's the thing, you do. You do. You get absolutely everything, including the person that you want. That past life relationship energy, I think you already know them. I just do. If you don't, you're getting something so wonderful that you will never give it another thought. Like, if you're like, yes, it's that one person, and I'm saying, or it could be somebody else, I don't get the sense that it is. But if it is, I swear the energy that's coming off of this is you'll be so grateful and so glad, and it is something so beyond your imagining, you'll not care. You'll be happy about it. But here's the thing, I don't think that's the case. You keep asking why. What did I do? Is this just what my life is going to be? No. No. It's not. Your life is expanding so rapidly and so much in a way that will challenge. You work so hard to develop anything resembling self-esteem. Anything resembling self-esteem. And you don't realize you have a fear of success. You have a fear of it. You don't think you deserve it. And you do. And only if it comes to you when you are by yourself are you going to be able to take adequate care of yourself. You can't let another person get you through this. And you're energetically connected to that person. They are already with you. They are already with you. That's why I keep thinking that you know them. They are already with you. They support you energetically every single day of your life. They pour love towards you every single day of your life. But you have to face this wonderful experience by yourself so that you will truly experience it for yourself. Because when you love people so much, when you love them, that you don't prioritize you. And will that change? Hey, listen, maybe not entirely. Like you're always, like, you're a very giving person. And you have a situation coming up in which your energy is needed for you, and it's so close, and your future self a year from now is trying to tell you, Just get ready to be very, 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 very happy. And know that you deserve it. Okay, group number 3, that was your reading. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 4, then this is your reading. Hey, this adorable little deck is the Zillich deck. It is so, so beautiful. I mad love it. It's going to be bringing you 6 cards. That's the energy of energetic balance. It's reciprocity, it's give and take, and it's generosity as well. This is a message from your future self. Is your future self your higher self? Not exactly, but yes. So your higher self it sees all points in time. It is connected to the collective. It is there with all the energy of the universe and the divine. And it knows exactly what you are meant to be doing in this lifetime, and it tries to keep you on track. Sometimes our ego fights that because we have wants and we have desires that are usually about like the things that we actually need. Your ego is not bad, and despite what spiritual teachings teach us, it is not meant to die. It is meant to be put in the proper perspective of, well, if I don't have what I want, there's probably a good reason. Your future self has connection to your emotional self. It is from a different point in time that your consciousness is trying to speak to you. Let's see what it has to say. This has been one of the most interesting readings I've ever filmed. And I'm 2 years into this YouTube channel, so I've filmed a few of them. And this has been fascinating, and I hope yours turns out just as well. Choice. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. I'm always talking about choosing your emotional direction, and choosing how you will perceive something, and choosing your viewpoint, and choosing your reaction to it. Now, sometimes we have to process negative things to get to a more positive, turn things in the right direction, but that is within your choice. I used to sing this little song. It was choose your emotional direction. Choose your emotional direction. And why? I don't know. I was working to try and heal my anxiety disorder. It works. It works. And so I would, sing that song, and the rest of it is think good thoughts, make good choices. Now you know what goofy songs I sing to myself. Tortoise. When changes are made for the sake of change itself, resist. Don't just try to have don't distract yourself with buying things, with doing things, with you can do that a little bit. Right now you just want something to change, and you're trying to create it in order to just have the change. Make different choices. Try to appreciate everything that is there right now. You're ready. Yay! What are we ready for? I want to find out. Friends. Okay. The most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on a hard rock. They create a tight bond. I'm not going to say anything about that right now because you might be ready for friends. I have so many introverts. Healers have a tendency to be introverts. We have a lot of people try and plug into us like outlets, and so we can be very guarded with who we allow in. And it's not bad to be introverted. It's not something to be healed or fixed. Radical self-acceptance. You are perceived the way you perceive yourself. Think of yourself as successful. Think of yourself as lovable, as wonderful, as a creation that is purposeful as well. Accept who you are. Do not criticize yourself. Recognize that you have flaws that you have to work on. We all do. Make choices around your self-talk, around your self-belief. You're ready to be your highest self. You're ready to work in true alignment. When you're in true alignment, everything comes to you. We have building blocks. That's what you've been working on. And then round and round. And then I've got abundance. Prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks you may have. In fairyland and human land, there is enough abundance for all. You have been on a journey of trying to learn how to simply accept who you are as being correct. And I don't mean I'm right about everything. I mean, you're hypercritical of yourself sometimes. It may be because you were criticized as a child. It could be because you had a punishing relationship. It could be because people, like, sometimes you're very, very strong-willed, and people can react to that and blame you for it because they're projecting their irritation onto your personality. If you're unbudgeable when you need to be, that's not something you need to fix. And if you've been told, hey, you're impossible, well, make sure you're not being impossible. But if what they're really saying is you won't do what I want you to, then good. like make your choices. Be self-determined. Listen, that friends card is just really calling out to me here. I think you're afraid of something with friends. I think you're afraid if they really get to know you, they won't like you. I think you've had some interesting experiences around exactly that. You're actually, like, try not to worry so much about that. People aren't judging you the way that you think they are. Like, a lot of people know how badly injured you were by something. And if you're not allowing yourself to get close to people, remember, it's okay to have just one or two close friends. Try to interact on a social level a little bit more than you do. More like abundance, though, with the building blocks and round. Three of Cups in the upright, that's a card for friendships, for parties, for gatherings. We're doing 6 cards for the energy of energetic balance. There we go. In fact, we have 6 chakras that are visible on chakra charts. We actually have a lot more chakras than we think we do. But it gets into, like, higher level. I don't deal with the other chakras in the work that I do. I help people with their earthly concerns a great deal, attaching to their higher selves, to their alignment, and to their purpose. And then there are people who take it from there who are all about exploring the spiritual kingdom. But I deal with the light workers, the healers, the people who are on the ground. I deal with, like, the foot soldiers of bringing about change and choice to people so that they can have better existences, so that they can find the divine, so that we can bring this world back into balance. And therefore, I don't deal with all the other chakras that are in alignment with our spirit and our soul in other dimensions, because there are those. We have the 5 of Cups in the upright. Okay, you have lost friends in the past, I take it, with the 8 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, friendships hurt you. I've got the 4 of Swords in the upright with the 3 of Wands in reverse, and then the Prince of Cups in the upright. So what's your future self trying to tell you about this? You're never going to be an extrovert. You're never going to be an extrovert. You don't need to be. You have things that are coming to you with abundance, and then this radical self-acceptance. You are perceived the way you perceive yourself. Accept yourself. Like, don't think that you're weird, even if you're a little weird, because let's face it, weird is wonderful. What a boring world we would have if some people weren't a little bit different. You've lost friends in the past because I think you were still healing from some form of trauma. They were actually sent to you to help you heal from trauma. You did not actually, like, you didn't lose any relationships you were meant to keep. And you are not ever going to get really close to a bunch of people. But there are a couple of people, there are a few people who you will let in. This energy here, your future self is trying to tell you, you don't need to worry as much as you do about not having a life that resembles, like, TV programs when you're growing up. Like, if you have a big family, you don't feel like you're a big part of it, that's okay. That you are who you're meant to be. You didn't come here to fit in. You didn't come here to fit in. Accept that part of you. Don't think that if only I could be different, my life would be better. You're meant to be different. You're just meant to be different. And it is okay that you will never have a giant list of people that you call friends. You will always have a small, like, people that you really, really like. and you'll have varying degrees of closeness to them. You have a very deep connection to your inner world. You should try and expand it a little bit sometimes to be a little bit more spiritual. But you're closed off enough that you don't even like the thought of like, hey, I'm one with all. I don't want to be one with everybody. I want to be like with me in the library. And that's okay. We have a woman holding heart. It's purposeful. Door to romance. Yin yang. Community. Well, the woman holding a heart and emotional fulfillment, the door to romance is pretty self-explanatory. There's a divine pairing that wants to be part of your life, and your future self is trying to tell you that you are going to be incredibly good friends with this person as well. It's okay that you only ever really groove on a couple of people. It is so important to want to be friends with the person that you're in love with. Like, ideally, that person should be such a good friend. And not your only friend. We can't make one person our everything. But, like, you should really, really want to be their friend. And they should want to be yours. And because that's what sustains long-term love. Hey, you can fall in lust with almost anybody. And once that passion burns out, if you don't have the friendship, then it doesn't last. For whatever reason, this is not a welcome card to you. Your person is, I don't think you're with anybody. I don't think maybe you are. It's okay. Okay, I understand now. You don't want to have an unhealthy attachment to anybody. You don't want to make a relationship your everything ever again. However that worked out in the past, it was disappointing. We'll just leave it at disappointing. It broke your faith in something. And because you're introverted and you've tried to follow a piece of advice around letting more and more people in, and you kind of ran into the fact that you're not like everybody else. You're just not. In fact, I'm going to grab the Enchanted Map Oracle for you, because I want to pull 3 cards from that. I will get a Fairy Oracle as well. That's right, apparently we're going to have 72 Oracle cards on the scene before I'm done for the day. But it's because this is very different from the other messages. There is a romance involved, and your person will be a very, very, very good friend. Now, does it have to be a romance? It will be. It doesn't have to be, but you'll want it to be. That's what your future self is trying to tell you. There is a part of you that thinks that you don't want to have another relationship ever. And it is not based on healthy things. It is based on fear of being hurt. Fear that the past predicts what you will have in the future. That's something to heal. And if you're like, but it took me this long to be happy and I actually feel good, don't cling to the known because you're afraid the unknown will be damaging. You're able to take care of you. Accept who you are and understand that maybe you will only ever have 1 or 2 close friends, and that one of them will be like your love. The person that is trying to be in your life may already be, and you're having trouble letting them close, is going to be one of your closest friends. And you've been absorbing all the codependency messages, and you think that's bad because no one person should be everything. You have a good relationship with you. Now, you'll be okay. You will never fear losing a relationship again because you learn to really like you. Protecting treasure, balancing act, home. Well, the balancing act card is number 11 for one thing, but it's also about trying to, boy, you just want to live in a cottage away from absolutely every living soul. You don't have good associations with other people, but it's not negative. You're not a bitter person. You're happy. I get this for group number 4. Your energy's taken over every single read that I've ever done. By the time I get to the 4th one, it's like, oh, it's this happy hermit energy again. What is your future self trying to tell you? Expand your horizons a little bit, but know that it's not going to change that much. It's not going to change that much. Stop fantasizing about being Heidi's grandfather and being the world's biggest hermit. Allow the idea that the universe understands you, your higher self understands you, and your future self all understand you. You are protected. They understand what you need to feel good. You need more time away from people than other people do. It was the way you recharged was to read, was to play, everything was very solitary. It's not quite the energy of like an introvert where it's like a unicorn. Like you really just are not like other human beings. And this home, this security energy, please understand that you're not going to be made uncomfortable by allowing the idea, and at this point your future self is just asking that you entertain the idea of allowing change again, of allowing the idea that my carefully laid plans about the future and the life I envision, and like there's probably like a garden, like and cats, and like I'm not mocking that at all. Like I take it you're very fond of animals. You don't understand how it's influenced by earlier rejections. You healed and are strong and are wonderful and have a very good relationship to self, and you really do have a human being who is meant for you. You've got the power. Use your abilities to resolve the situation. You can do it. And you doubt that you want things to change. That choice card. Listen, the only thing I want you to know is you're ready with choices. Start telling yourself that. That's all you need to do. That is all you need to do. When changes are made for the sake of change itself, resist. You're not being asked to change your mindset because you need to be altered. You're being asked to change your mindset around a couple of things because it's simply part of your path. It's part of who you are. Everything that's trying to come to you in your life, in this existence, it may never have the mark. Here's the thing. We have a society that like wants you to entertain, wants you to have friends, wants you to go out, wants you to have experiences, wants you to have adventures. And like some people are like, but I just want to read. Like that, are you trying to tell me I'm a coward? I'm not allowed, like I'm not doing enough. I'm not hanging my butt over the edge of a cliff, and so I'm not really living. You get to decide for yourself what really living is. But the thing that you're being asked to try and accept is make different choices around what you think of as expansion. You withdraw more and more in order, and it's not fearful, it's happy. You withdraw in a happy energy, thinking, I don't need anything more. I'm actually really, really happy. I'm very content. You have love. You have love that really, 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 really wants to be part of your life. I don't know if somebody just shredded you during the breakup or if you were shredded and you're like, well, it wasn't worth it. In the long run, it was not worth it, so why would I do that again? I do not read these in reverse, by the way. I don't read any oracle cards in reverse. I just have not found them to, like, I read tarot in reverse quite obviously, but oracle cards, I have never found them to have as much validity in reverse. Okay. Well, I took that fourth one because I just wanted to see where it was going with adjacent possibilities. New beginnings are coming to you, and they're very hopeful and wonderful and bright. Cornucopia means having absolutely everything and many, many choices available to you. Your higher self is trying to tell you that your association with change, with relationships, and with people is unnecessarily negative. It is unnecessarily... You're resisting growth, and you don't think of it that way. You're resisting growth. And not in a, like, I want to be injured, I will not heal, I'm stuck in this victim mentality way. You're not, like, you, not at all. But what is happening is you're not thinking of the fact that you're like, because you'll describe yourself as being kind of set in your ways sometimes. And that's not a negative, but it is a form of stagnation. Imagine this, as happy as you feel sometimes, as like grateful and as much enjoyment as you can find in the life that you've put together, what if there's more? It is safe for you to love. Good gracious. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Okay, my happy hermits of group number 4, your highest self is trying to let you know and is trying to convey to you that everything that you are trying to hold at bay because you think you understand what it will mean is coming to you regardless of whether or not you like are. And because whenever I say that, I get this like strange energy around people being very upset because they've decided I won't ever have anyone again. That might be the point of what your higher self and your future self is trying to tell you, is that's release that. If it's really true that I'm not going to be with anybody ever again, then that's what will happen. You don't need to adamantly decide anything. Here's the thing. Extreme thinking is rigid and it prevents growth. Just start telling yourself, if it's meant to change, it will come to me. I'm open to the idea. It could be very, very different. Spirit, heavenly assistance from your angels and guides. You got the door to spirit as well. And then I've got one enchanted evening, the perfect night. Okay, so I took 2 cards on that just be like, this energy always fascinates me because most of the time when people are coming to me for readings, you know what they want to know? When am I going to meet somebody? And for whatever reason, group number 4 is like, you know what I want to know? Anything other than like who I'm going to be with, because I'm going to be with me. I'm happy. And it's wonderful, but it's also like, but that is a different, like, extreme independence is also a trauma response. You don't understand because you're happy that you could be happier, and that your response is related to something that you might want to consider releasing as an absolute, because it is, when you state things absolutely, it is evidence of injury. All right, intuition. Trust your intuition. It's a great time to learn a new skill, change careers, or invest money. Try tapping in. You got the Door to Spirit card in a couple of different areas. You're trying to be guided towards more. And by the way, I keep stopping on this because it's such a strange thing to have to say. Here's the dig. You, like, nothing is going to force you to have a relationship ever. You don't need to be afraid of it. But the fact that you might be when you're hearing that is evidence that you have something to heal. Turn your attention towards healing instead of the never will I ever. Turn it towards healing. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scold you. I'm really not. Just try. Try to connect to spirit and ask, what is it that you're trying to bring me? It's more healing and more expansion and more joy. Here's the thing, I think your perfect nerd is out there for you. And I love nerds, I am one. I think your perfect person is out there. Summer. Everything that you're asking for becomes yours in the summertime. Hey, 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 this happens to be a timeless reading. but it is summer right now. We have a good solid like 6 weeks of summer left before it will turn to the autumn or the fall in the Western Hemisphere. Something is knocking at your door, and you are not allowing the idea because you don't think of it this way because you're very happy, but you're resisting change. And we are here to constantly be in flux, in flow, and constantly changing. Release the rigid thinking around potentially romantic pairings. And when you're being told about resisting change, I do not think that card was advising you to resist change. I think that card was reminding you that change is part of life. When things stop changing, we are no longer truly living. Embrace the idea that even if you are happy right now, maybe things will change and you will be even happier. Thank you so much for joining me, group number 4. You're always one of the more interesting rides on that. Take care, be well. If you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below, and I would love a chance to read for you in real life. Take care, be well.